Very good morning. Thank you. It's actually great to be in Kyiv, great to be back, and it is a bit challenging to get just after an interview with Espresso TV and now to speak about challenges that we are facing and especially what the whole European Union is facing. I don't think that I'm going to be very kind of original here, saying that probably 2016 is going to be the toughest year for the future of European Union. To some extent, it's going to be a litmus test to both, to internal workings of the European Union, but also facing many external challenges. We are going to have in, 2 months or so, the referendum in Britain. I think this is going to be quite a defining moment for the European Union, regardless, actually, what is the result. If UK stays, I think that we are going to see that European Union is developing on multiple speeds, which I don't think that we should make quite a tragedy. We are going to have Eurozone, we are going to have non-Eurozone countries, we are going to have countries that will want to address key challenges of Schengen zone migration in a bit probably different way. We are going to see, of course, also in coming months that migration issues are going also to affect the whole European debate. Again, the future of Schengen zone, again, to some extent, all the issues that we are going to face also when it comes to our own development. But then, and I think again, it's about June, July, it's going to be a litmus test also on our unity when it comes to external challenges. One is definitely issues that are related with further sanctions towards Russia. We are up to discuss it in June, and we are hearing already some voices where I think that Russia is really doing great diplomatic effort to split our unity. We are going to see also the issues that are very much related to our EU-Turkish dialogue on migration, to addressing Syria. So it's a year of perfect storm. I would say that we should do our best, actually, to preserve as much as we can EU unity. I think that to some extent, on the foreign policy front, the Eastern Partnership, along with the Southern Neighborhood, is going to be a litmus test. I do believe that if we see, and I think that we see that Minsk agreements are not being implemented, we should extend those sanctions, not allowing, first of all, the further deterioration situation in the region, but also to keep up our unity. And of course, we also should not forget about the promises we have made so far. Visa liberalization to Georgia and Ukraine, the implementation of Ukraine, EU, Georgia, EU, Moldova association agreements, even after the Dutch referendum, which was not so much probably about Ukraine as it was about many challenges EU is facing, showing also that the radical movements from the far left, the far right are taking their moment to actually also work on breaking what has been so far great European project. So many challenges, but I do hope that even with all those issues we have heard from many EU leaders, the voice of reason is going to prevail. I'll stop here. I don't want to use all the time. So I would, as any foreign minister right now, I can identify so many issues, but it's very difficult to provide the short-term correct answers how to deal with them.
Especially as you point out that a lot of them are on our doorstep to come rather than necessarily have happened. But can I just ask you one question, one of the things you said, and it is about the British referendum, because you described as a defining moment one way or the other. If it is a no vote, if it's a decision to step out of the European Union, that's one thing. We get the enormous scale of that. If it's a vote to stay in, that's a very positive message, isn't it? Is it a rallying moment for the EU, or do you see it nonetheless as still an extremely worrying point to be at?
Well, first of all, let's not make any mistake. I do want the United Kingdom to stay in the European Union for many reasons. Also for the reasons that we have been very like-minded in the format of UK, Nordic countries and Baltic countries. We have even so-called Northern Forum where our prime ministers meet on an annual basis to discuss economy, to discuss foreign policy, security policy. And I believe that UK staying in the European Union would be of benefit for both, for United Kingdom as well as for Europe. However, I think that we have already noted that in February, when the European Council was discussing the deal with the United Kingdom, we have been able to achieve to a certain degree understanding that we acknowledge already to some extent formally that European Union will develop on different speed. We have acknowledged, which has been already enshrined in EU treaties, that UK, along with some other countries, are not going to become members of Eurozone. We have acknowledged that there is going to be some compromise, by the way, not very easy compromise to reach back at my country because we have many Latvians working and living in Britain, but still on social benefit side, we have acknowledged that there is going to be some exempt. So to some extent, I do believe that we have made clear that European project will, at least for certain time, develop on various speeds and various levels of integration. And I think that it is probably a fair deal for everyone, because if there are a group of countries that wants to have closer integration, so be it. If there are groups that want to have probably some different level of integration, so be it. But what is very important is that the framework stays. And I think that the February deal has preserved the framework, but has made much nuanced integration process.
Okay, thank you very much for that. I want to stay on the issue. Sir Malcolm,